Welcome to Draft Utopia's first 2014 NHL Draft update. This is Chris Ransom, and guess which team is in first place of the NHL Draft sweepstakes? Which team has the first and the second overall pick if the season ended today? The Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres went through a transition after Lindy Ruff's 15-year tenure with the Sabres ended. We could dive into the past and talk about how Ruff guided the Sabres to the playoffs in each of his first four seasons during the Dominik Hasek days. But let's face it, Buffalo's always been a product of the goaltending behind the pipes. They had Ryan Miller in 2006 and 2007. They were able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they couldn't make anything happen. But why do they have the top two picks in the 2014 NHL Draft? Remember the Thomas Vanek trade with the New York Islanders? That gave them the Islanders' first-round draft pick. So the Sabres have the number one and the number two pick in the 2014 NHL Draft because the Islanders have the second-worst record behind the Sabres at this juncture. And if the Sabres get the top two picks in the NHL lottery, they will have the top two picks in the NHL Draft, period. And the two stud players in this year's NHL draft class are Sam Reinhart of the Kootenay Ice, the center who's been consistent in terms of generating points, and Aaron Ekblad, who gained exceptional OHL entry status at age 15. He'll be coming into the NHL draft, arguably the most polished OHL defenseman since Drew Doughty, and you'll be able to get both of these guys, your center, get a defenseman. There will be no more excuses for not contending with the new head coaching regime, because you'll probably get a new head coach too after this year, make another hire. You'll keep Ryan Miller around at goaltender, and you'll have your goaltender, you'll have your defense, you'll have your center, you'll have other wingmen that can complement your center, and there's really no excuse for not producing in Buffalo if you get the top two picks in the 2014 NHL Draft. You have to turn things around initially. There are other teams like the Edmonton Oilers, the Florida Panthers, and the Calgary Flames that have struggled, that have disappointed as expected, but the laughingstock of the NHL this year has to be the Buffalo Sabres. Sucks for the Islanders because they don't have a first-round draft pick, they have the worst penalty killing, they have no goaltender, and they're not going to be able to turn things around in the draft. So it's going to be a rough year for the Islanders, rough offseason. May as well clean house and rebuild once they relocate to Brooklyn in 2015 or whether it be next season. But it's going to be a rough year for the Islanders. May as well start over when they get to Brooklyn. And the Buffalo Sabres are the team that leads the 2014 NHL Draft sweepstakes. They don't just lead, they have the first and the second pick. Talk about a turnaround on the ice.